PFF just shook the NFL and Shedeur Sanders is at the center of it. Browns fans are screaming to bench Dylan Gabriel, and if Stefanski doesn't act fast, he might lose the whole locker room. This isn't preseason hype, it's a quarterback revolution.
Yeah, he may be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league, but he's not the best player heading into the 2025 season. Our guy is. And it's not the only reason I did a double take when I saw the top 10 list. There are some very recognizable names on the list of unclaimed funds that are going to help pay for the Browns' new stadium. Wait till you hear this. A former NFL wide receiver points out the biggest mistake Kevin Stefanski could make when it comes to Shedeur Sanders during training camp. And down in the viewer comments, we have some Dave on Dave.
Shedeur Sanders fans, you are not going to believe what just happened. This isn't hype. This is history in making. They said Shedeur needed more time. They said the Browns were locked in with their veterans. But after what just dropped this week from Pro Football Focus combined with warnings from inside the NFL, there's no more waiting. The timeline just got shattered. Forget safe decisions. Forget playing it slow. Cleveland is sitting on the edge of something huge, and if Stefanski doesn't move fast, he's about to lose this team. Because while the spotlight is blinding and the pressure is heavy, one truth is standing above it all. Shedeur Sanders is the future, and it's not just fans saying it. Former NFL stars, analytics experts, and even opposing players are starting to say the quiet part out loud. Because you can't ignore what's happening in Cleveland right now. It all started with a top 50 list. Simple, right? Another offseason ranking from Pro Football Focus. But what this list revealed cracked open a truth that's been simmering beneath the surface for months. Myles Garrett, Cleveland's very own, was named the #1 overall player heading into the 2025 NFL season. Not just the best defender, not just the top edge rusher, the best player in the entire league. Over Mounds, over Allen, over TJ Watt, who might be the highest paid non-quarterback in football but didn't even break the top 5. Let that sink in. And just when you think you figured him out, Shedeur changes the whole game. Because while the world was busy debating whether TJ Watt was getting overpaid, Cleveland quietly became home to two of the NFL's most dangerous weapons, Myles Garrett on defense and Shedeur Sanders on offense, just waiting for his moment. And now that moment is here. But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming, not even the critics. Because tucked beneath the PFF bombshell came another twist, one that didn't come from numbers or rankings. It came from the mouth of former Falcons wide receiver and current ESPN analyst Harry Douglas. And what he said, it sent a shockwave through every Browns training camp meeting room. Douglas called out Kevin Stefanski directly, point blank. He said if Shedeur lights it up during training camp, and all signs point to him doing just that, you better be ready to start him. Not in week 9, not after the bye, immediately. Don't make the mistake, Douglas warned. If he's the guy and shows he's the guy, you have to play him. Because if you don't, you're not just stalling your quarterback, you're risking the entire locker room. Veterans will start to question. Leaders will grow frustrated. And a team this talented cannot afford dysfunction.
Okay. Well, now he's an analyst with ESPN, and he said that Stefanski better watch out. This is what he says. He says, if Shedeur Sanders goes into training camp and he lights out and he's playing very, very well in the preseason, there's going to have to be conversations that it might be earlier than that they put him in. He says what you don't want to do if you're Kevin Stefanski is to have a guy show that he is the guy, but to not play him. Then you're going to have some controversy when it comes to your roster and older players who are trying to win right now. And so, Harry Douglas is not mincing his words. Now, he thinks Shedeur will take over by Game 7 against Miami. That's just his thoughts. He's thinking, that's about the time you want to make the switch, which is, whatever. That's fine by me. But
this is where Cleveland made the move that rewrote the entire season. And the move isn't what you think. Because behind the scenes, while Stefanski juggles expectations and Dylan Gabriel tries to find his footing, Shedeur's doing something different. He's not just winning reps, he's winning the building. From rookie minicamp to OTA whispers, everything we're hearing is the same. Shedeur is locked in, confident, commanding, His reads, clean. His poise, veteran level. And yeah, he's got the flash. But it's not about flash anymore, it's about control. He's not just learning the system, he's becoming the system. Meanwhile, Dylan Gabriel, who the Browns controversially took in the 3rd round, is struggling with the one thing short QBs always struggle with: vision over the line. Reports already say he's had multiple passes batted at the line of scrimmage during non-contact drills. And let's be honest, when you're already 5'11", and you're throwing behind one of the tallest lines in the AFC, that's a problem. And it's not just a mechanics issue, it's a ceiling issue. Because Shedeur, he's built for the moment. Gabriel, he might not be built for Sundays. Here's the part that stunned even the veterans. Stay with me. There are already whispers in that locker room, quiet conversations between vets. If this kid's the real deal, why wait? You think those defensive leaders want to spend another season watching winnable games slip away, while the future sits on the sideline? No chance. And it's not just about raw talent. It's about belief. It's about momentum. And in Cleveland, finally there's a spark. A belief that this year could be different. That the old Browns are gone. And who's the face of that belief? Shedeur Sanders. But champions aren't made in comfort. What Shedeur did next proved exactly that. While all this controversy brews on the football side, Cleveland just stepped into another wild twist, one that feels like something out of an HBO drama. Because somehow, someway, the list of unclaimed funds that will help fund the Browns' new stadium, it includes LeBron James, Baker Mayfield, and Johnny Manziel. Yeah, you heard that right. LeBron's got for entries over $100. Baker's got 3 between $10 and $100. But Manziel, the dude has payments from ADT and the NFLPA that totals somewhere around $150. And get this, Manziel recently went on a podcast and said he hated Cleveland. Oh really? You're about to hear the moment that had fans, players, even rivals on their feet. Because now, that money's going straight to the Browns' new stadium in Brook Park. And Johnny, if you're watching, we'll gladly take your unclaimed funds. Consider it payback. Meanwhile, LeBron, Baker, check the list. That cash is getting used. You snooze, you fund. But the real story here isn't unclaimed refunds. It's identity. It's momentum. It's Cleveland reclaiming its power not just through headlines, but through football. And that's why Shedeur matters now more than ever. Because while outsiders laugh, while rival fans roll their eyes, Cleveland is building something real. Not just hype, not just preseason buzz, something sustainable. And it's being powered by a quarterback who's already playing like a veteran and carrying the swagger of a franchise. Let this next moment sink in, because it might just define the future of the Browns and Shedeur Sanders himself. The Browns aren't America's team, not yet. But with Garrett terrorizing offenses and Shedeur poised to command the huddle, that conversation is coming. And if Stefanski plays this right, it won't just be a conversation, it'll be a revolution. But if he stalls, if he waits too long, lets hesitation get in the way of momentum, he risks losing the locker room, losing the season, maybe even losing his job. Because make no mistake, this is the line in the sand. And Shedeur Sanders is standing on the right side of history. So what happens next? That's up to Cleveland. The tension inside Berea right now is electric. Every throw Shedeur makes in practice sends a ripple through the coaching staff. Every deep ball that hits in stride, every snap he commands with poise, adds pressure to Kevin Stefanski's clipboard. Because the worst thing you can do in this league is hesitate. When your star is ready, ask any veteran quarterback who watched a rookie take their job in real time. Ask any coach who waited too long to make the obvious move. The locker room knows when someone's got it. And Shedeur, he's got it. He's not just reading defenses, he's reading the room. And he knows this team wants to win now. But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming, not even the critics. See, critics thought Shedeur would be flashy but raw. A highlight reel waiting to happen, but maybe a year away from reading NFL coverages. That's not what this camp is showing. This camp is showing command. Calm under pressure. The patience to scan his progressions. And most importantly, the kind of leadership that doesn't wait to be asked. Dylan Gabriel, on the other hand, still figuring out the pace, still adjusting, still underwhelming. And that's fine if you're a backup. But Cleveland didn't draft him to be that. And now they're realizing, maybe they shouldn't have drafted him at all. Meanwhile, Shedeur's living proof that sometimes the best player isn't the one drafted highest. Sometimes the future arrives before the plan. And just when you think you figured him out, Shedeur changes the whole game. Harry Douglas season. So do analysts across ESPN. So do former players. Everyone is circling that Miami game in week 7. But some are wondering, why wait even that long? If Shedeur dominates the preseason and all signs say he will, how do you justify sitting him? How do you look at the most talented player on your roster, delivering game-ready reps every day in training camp, and say not yet? Because if Stefanski does that, he's not just betting on experience, he's betting against the moment. And in this league, the moment doesn't wait. This is where Cleveland made the move that rewrote the entire season. So now, we're not just talking about a quarterback competition. We're talking about a culture war. Old school versus new blood. Reputation versus revelation. And while that plays out on the practice field, Cleveland fans are having their own civil war down in the comment sections. There's love. There's fire. There's even Browns-Broncos alliances being formed. Take Tyrone 10. He's a die-hard Broncos fan, but he's tuning in every day for Shedeur. That's what star power does. It crosses fan lines. It turns doubters into believers. It builds bridges where rivalry used to be. And then there's the Browns faithful guys like Jacob Henkel saying, the Browns are America's team now. Look, maybe that's a stretch. Maybe we're not there yet. But with Shedeur behind center and Garrett anchoring the defense, that vision's not crazy. It's just early. But champions aren't made in comfort. What Shedeur did next proved exactly that. Because what Shedeur's doing isn't flashy. It's not hype videos and TikToks. It's precision. It's repetition. It's getting up before everyone else and staying after the lights go out. And that's why the Browns drafted him. Not just because of his talent, but because of his mindset. Remember, this is the kid who handled Colorado's chaos with poise. Who took more hits than any QB in the NCAA and kept coming. Who wore the pressure of being Deion's son and turned it into fuel. That same fire is burning in Breer right now. And if you're a coach, you don't douse that fire, you feed it. You're about to hear the moment that had fans, players even, rivals on their feet. That moment, it's coming. It might be a 60-yard preseason bomb to a rookie wideout. It might be a fourth quarter, 2-minute drill against a second-string defense. It might be nothing more than Shedeur walking into the huddle, eyes locked, voice steady, and the sideline erupting, not because he said something wild, but because they believe him. Because Shedeur doesn't need to prove anything flashy. He just needs to keep being who he is, and the Browns will follow. But if Stefanski misses it, if he falls back on politics or pecking order, the damage won't wait until week 7. It'll happen instantly. Here's the part that's stunned even. The veterans stay with me. Reports say that during a closed practice this week, Shedeur ran a 2-minute drill with the second-team offense and walked them 80 yards down the field in 112. No incomplete passes. 1 timeout. Touchdown to end it. Defense couldn't stop it. Receivers lit up. Coaches quiet. Because what do you even say when your developmental QB just executed like a seasoned pro? You say what veterans are already saying. Start him. And maybe, just maybe, that's the plan all along. Maybe Stefanski is slow playing this. Maybe the pressure we're all feeling outside is the same pressure he's using to light the fire inside. Maybe. But history doesn't remember hesitation. It remembers boldness. Let this next moment sink in, because it might just define the future of the Browns and Shedeur Sanders himself. Because we're standing at the edge of something real here. Not hype. Not a viral moment. Legacy. The Browns haven't had a real franchise quarterback in decades. The carousel has been endless. The heartbreaks stacked. But now, they've got a shot. A young QB with composure beyond his years. A team on the brink of something special. A fan base more ready than ever. The only question now, will Cleveland make the leap? Or will they watch history happen somewhere else? If you're feeling this, if you're riding with Shedeur, if you believe Cleveland is finally about to flip the script, then you already know what to do. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. Because we're not just talking football here. We're witnessing the rise of something bigger. Shedeur Sanders isn't the future. Asterisk, he's the now. And this channel, we're riding every single moment of it until the rest of the league has no choice but to put some respect on his name. We'll see you in the next video. Go Browns. Go Shedeur. Let's make history.